Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh. Welcome to Game 3 in a best of 5 series being played between Evil Genius's IDrA. He's the green Zerg down in the bottom left corner of iCCup Neo Engima. That's right, it's a weird map, and IDrA is playing Fnatic.Rain on it. He's the blue Terran down in the bottom right corner. It says because of you pros, but that's actually Fnatic.Rain, the Korean member of Team Fnatic. And you may remember Rain from GSL last year. You may remember IDrA from every event ever. But these guys are playing for the Intel Extreme Masters Guangzhou, China. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, by the way. Guangzhou? Guangzhou? I have no clue. But this is the American qualifier. 2 players will qualify to go play in that event in China the first week of October, just before IPL 3 in Atlantic City. I have to mention it, IGN.com/IPL. Go look at it if you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, IDrA is playing Rain. This actually is for qualification to go to that Chinese event. Whoever wins this best of 5 qualifies. So the series is tied 1-1 right now. The fact that they're playing on this weird map, I have to imagine Rain picked it after losing that last map on Shakura's Plateau because IDrA is probably not familiar with it. I doubt Rain is familiar with it either, but yeah, getting IDrA out of his comfort zone is definitely a bonus, even if you're not very familiar with the map either. I'm looking at it now. These destructible rocks are kind of interesting. Yeah, these destructible rocks outside of the main are kind of weird, but you still have to get up that ramp, so I'm not sure why that's even there. It does allow him to sort of wall off here at his natural ramp, but he could still put tanks and bunkers and things here in case this gets chewed down. It almost reminds me of like Blistering Sands, except not as good, because Blistering Sands you could actually get right into the main. But iCCup Neo Engima was based off of Enigma, which is a Brood War map, as far as I know. There's gold bases available as a third, but it's a little bit risky for IDrA to try and take his between these 2 players. Rain can take this with a Planetary Fortress perhaps and still be pretty good to go. First barracks is done. Marine already on his way, who knows where. It looks like Rain already scouted the top and left with SCVs, and the third one is checking out IDrA's main in just a moment. He'll get over here and see this natural hatchery. Everything is still on the exact same timing you would expect from IDrA. 15 hatch, 15 pool. Next will be that extractor, most likely. No extractor yet. Interesting. Lots of drones being transferred over, 8 drones in total. They'll see that SCV and shoo him away. They obviously don't want him to build any bunkers here at the top of the ramp, but now that the creep is starting to spread, Rain may have missed his window. We'll see if he actually still tries to do it, since he does have 3 SCVs and 3 Marines here. Bunker number 1 is starting. Spinecrawler number 1 is starting for IDrA, but 6 Lings are already about halfway done. All he has to do is cancel that Spinecrawler. Doesn't look like he did, though. SCV is going to get stranded. Oh, bad luck for Rain. Usually the SCV will bounce around inside of the bunker and Lings won't be able to get an attack on it, but that time the SCV got spat out on the top side and the Lings were able to get the surround, so Rain basically has to call it off. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to start a new bunker offensive here with this many Lings still intact. We have 5 Marines, lots of drones being pulled off the line here. He might be able to get a surround on these SCVs at least, if not also kill some of these Marines. Good micro from Rain backing into a corner there, reducing that surface area from all these melee units. Drones and Lings all getting popped, and wow, Rain actually taking a little bit of an advantage here, but more Lings in production from IDrA. He should be okay if Rain doesn't continue to reinforce. But Rain is continuing to reinforce, so this actually could go either way still. The Ling's getting a good surround there. We'll pull up those unit health bars. Kind of difficult to see what's going on, but as you can see now, there's just Marine blood everywhere, and the Zerglings are still intact, so Rain is finally going to retreat. Not a bad exchange, I would say. Pretty even, actually. IDrA did manage to kill 3 SCVs, which is actually probably the biggest deal of that whole fight, and Marine's still doing that stutter step micro, finishing off the last of these Lings. If IDrA just headed home, probably would have been able to save some of those. Spinecrawler starting up once again outside of the natural, and Rain is going to continue his retreat back to his own natural. Did that command center get finished? No, he hasn't even started it yet. There it is at the natural getting built. Refineries number 1 and 2 both going up. It looks like he wanted to do the same sort of thing he did on Metalopolis, but just doesn't have a good enough spot on this map like he did on Metal. Metal had that little armpit where you can just build a bunker and keep your Marines trapped inside and protected, but don't really have that here on the ramp at the natural of IDrA. Maybe if he had I don't know. There's actually really nowhere good to do that same sort of thing. IDrA does have lots of Lings alive. He may have overproduced a little bit to deal with those Marines, but it's a good thing he did, because if Rain were to show up with this force of 8 Marines again, then IDrA could be in trouble. So good unit choices so far, using that larva efficiently. Keeping that Queen, doing the larva injects back inside the main. Nothing crazy at all. He just didn't harvest any gas yet at all. IDrA, I don't really know what you're doing, but now the gas harvest has begun. IDRA's only spent minerals up to this point, and I don't know if he's going to go Speedling first or start to do something crazy with a lair. He is getting all of his extractors up now. Well, number 2, I say. I really expected a third one. IDrA, you're just confusing me, buddy, but still doesn't have a Baneling Nest or a Roachworn. He just does not have gas to produce any of it. Zergling speed still not started. He's got to have 100, of course. Now he's starting 6 drones on gas instead of just 3. I'm really curious what he's going to spend it on first. Must be that Zergling speed. Yes, it is. When you see nothing but Marines like that, you really need that Zergling speed just so you can be able to defend your own natural. 3 barracks up total, 4 barracks up total, wow, excuse me, and Stimpack already researching. Doesn't look like he's going to be building any Marauders or anything out of that Tech Lab barracks. Single Hellion coming out now. This is kind of just the anti-Zergling force that Rain is preparing here. Looks like he is just guarding his destructible rocks, not wanting to take them down, just basically having a look, making sure they're not being chewed to pieces by those Zerglings of IDrA. Lair coming up now. Most likely going to be seeing a Baneling Nest plop down. There it is. Spire also going to be on the way after the Lair gets finished. That's just the Baneling Ling Muta build that IDrA does every game. He knows what to build. It's all down to control and defense and offense, timings, decision making, things like that. The unit composition actually is very simple, though. Baneling Ling Muta is the standard for TVZ, or ZVT I should say, as he is a Zerg. 2 Spine Crawlers are finished. Some Lings are in the background. It looks like the Spine Crawlers are going to continue to live. No siege tanks here to blast them down from range. Not even sure if he added a Tech Lab yet. No, he's actually going to get a reactor, most likely flip that starport onto it and start cranking out those medevacs. Might build a single Viking to go Overlord hunting, but not exactly sure what he's going to end up with. 3 Banelings morphing over inside that pile of green Zerglings. Spire has begun. Evolution Chamber has begun. Actually nearly finished. Most likely going to be seeing +1 melee attacks once again to benefit Banelings, Speedlings, and eventually those Broodlings from Broodlords if they do ever show up. Stimpack going to be done in just a moment. Weapons level 1 coming up for Rain, trying to keep up with IDrA as he's getting his melee attack upgrade. Centrifugal hooks about to be 25%-ish done. Of course, you want that Baneling speed against a heavy Marine composition like this. Queen getting a little bit overzealous there. May not actually score a Marine kill. Evolution Chamber starting to take some damage. Rain, is he really going to try to commit this? Oh, IDrA, that was going to be interesting. I would be very surprised if he would have committed to that, as the Hellion could just swoop in and shoot all those Lings at once. Queen with 1 HP. Oh my goodness, IDrA, how did you survive? Is he going to get in there? Wow, Rain sacrifices 2 Marines. Very quick decision making there. A good one too to kill that Queen. He is going to have to start producing another one right away. IDrA is actually taking a sneaky hidden 3rd base while this Marine aggression continues. There's only 2 here now though, so IDRA's fine with sacking a few Zerglings and keeping his Evolution Chamber alive. What's going on now? A couple of medevacs are here, and Rain is loading up. I'm not sure where he's going to be headed with all those guys, but IDrA seems to have a pretty stout defense going so far, and 7 Mutalisks are in production. If these medevacs get caught by the Mutalisks, they're not going to have a very fun day at all. Rain actually backing off now. He saw all the Lings and Banelings on the ground, prepared for the drop, and now Mutalisks are in the sky. Here we go. IDrA actually doing a little bit of a counter now, pushing out of his base with these Banelings. Oh, really great spread by Rain. Oh my goodness, that spread was so good. Oh man, now 6 Mutalisks survive the fight and head back home. IDrA with a very slight supply lead, but Rain still reinforcing with lots and lots of Marines. These actually seem to be misrallied as he is sending everything else home. There he goes. Turn those guys around. Don't want to lose them for no reason. And what is happening now? Looks like the destructible rocks of IDrA are being taken out. He can actually do that since his opponent is on the right side of the map. He can break this down, spread the creep, and eventually get up to this other base. This would be a very nice 4th base for him to take, since he did take this sneaky one already. Extractor coming up here, not fully saturated just yet. He doesn't want to risk transferring any drones and having Rain find out about it. Rain is sending his Hellion to the northwest here. I'm not sure if he's going to go all the way. Now it actually doesn't look like he's going to do that. It would have been a nice pickup for him, of course. Get that great scouting information. Not going to happen today, though. Lots and lots of Mutalisks flying into the middle. Definitely doesn't want to engage there with this huge number of Marines and Stim, even though they don't have combat shields. That's just way, way too many Marines to try and take on with those Mutas. He's going to have to wait for some Banelings or even Infestors a little bit later on, but yeah, that lair's been done for some time, and I haven't seen an infestation pit dropped at all. He did rebuild a evolution chamber over here, so he does have two, just in case this one does get dropped and picked off. I like that decision at least. Looks like he did not transfer any drones. He's just been bouncing around with lings and things. Let's check Rain's vision and see if he even knows about that base. No, he doesn't. Actually, Rain has very little vision at all, staying pinned inside of his main and natural and just a single Marine at the Zelnaga Tower. He's going to see the Mutalisk swoop in. Of course, he's not going to be able to save that Marine if they do see him, which they evidently don't at the moment. This just looks kind of funny. Mutalisk, one Marine standoff. There we go. Bye-bye, Marine. And Rain starting to head out once again. He's got a large tank Marine force. No, it looks like he just wants to protect his command center that's being built at the gold. He is going to need it since IEDRA is so far ahead on economy. 64 Harvesters to 57. Even his mineral income is higher. That's something you don't want to have as a Terran, since you do have mules at your disposal. Lots and lots of Mutalisks here. 15 total, taking some free shots at that command center as it's being built, and the SCV was picked off, so another one is forced to come in and finish up where he left off. It looks like Rain is planning a drop over here, but the Overlord's in such good placement that the Mutalisks are going to come in and take out the entire medevac. That is a huge loss for Rain. Now he's just getting further behind in supply. There's only one turret, two turrets here, three turrets total inside the main. He's going to take out both of them incredibly quickly. Rain does have Stim on his Marines though, so he sends up a contingent to try and deal with this. No more turrets in the main. These SCVs are free fodder for the Mutas, and instead of waiting and losing any of those Mutalisks, IEDRA just backs off and takes the freebie. Takes what he can get and heads on home. Rain is waiting patiently at his third base. He does not want to lose that gold. He needs it to try and stay in this game. It looks like this flock of Mutalisks is happy to keep Rain on his toes. Look at this, just tons of Banelings and Zerglings here, Speedlings, ready to go at that third. That's kind of crazy considering Rain still has not even seen that base exists. IEDRA actually taking a fourth base now as well. Breaking down those rocks means he can spread that creep and connect the two. Looking for drops or anything out of Rain right now, but he's honestly not doing a whole lot. I actually just want to take his vision for a moment and watch what he is actually doing. Let me hit escape so we can see what he's selecting. There we go, factories. Looks like he's rolling some upgrades, focusing on his Marines, queuing up production. Wow, that's a big queue actually. That's a lot of Marines in the queue. A lot of Marines in the queue. He could be building 2 more barracks right there instead, but that's okay. He's a better player than me. Everyone, back to the everyone cam. We see lots and lots of Speedlings and Banelings up at the top. Muta's still roaming around. If he does want to commit, I'm sure he could actually take out all of this, but he would lose a huge chunk of forces as well, and he doesn't have enough banked up right now to overcommit. So single Marine is going to run in here, see the creep spread, check out everything there is to see, sees that there's no gold base. That's valuable information, but he doesn't know about the other like 3 hatcheries that are going up. This one is going to be IEDRA's 5th if Rain doesn't stop it. Lots of Marines, lots of tanks, 0-0 upgrades, 1-1 upgrades on the bio. Medevacs, of course, with 0 armor. IEDRA has a Ling right here with 1-1 upgrades. 2-1 is about to be done in a moment. Pathogen glands are going to finish, and 5 Infestors are about to hit the field. IEDRA looping around to the right side. It looks like he wanted to try and catch a small force unaware, but Rain is actually very, very solid right now. All his tanks and Marines staying very close together. This is a huge number of Marines. Those Infestors need to get finished so the Banelings can cooperate with them to take out those huge, huge bioballs. Rain, I'm not sure what you're going to be able to do, man. He's building doors, but it might be too little too late as this barracks gets exploded. Mutalisk gets popped, but it was a pretty fair trade, I'd say, for Mr. IEDRA. Rain, 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 what you doing? Thor finishes in just 1 second. Looks like he's scanning and blowing up some Speedlings and Banelings as they run by. Need to keep those upgrades rolling, perhaps even expand again. This is actually a tough spot for Rain. I'm not sure where he could expand again unless he goes over here with a planetary fortress. I think he might be out of luck. He may need to sneak an expansion. We can't even do that because there's Zerglings just everywhere. Here's a big engagement. Wow, IEDRA, I'm surprised he engaged from the top like that, losing tons of Mutalisks and the Banelings. There's not even close to enough Banelings to do that, to kill off all those tanks. Oh my god, IEDRA probably the worst encounter of this series so far. He just sacked a ton of Mutalisk, Banelings, and Speedlings, and Rain actually taking a 30 supply lead. That is absolutely crazy, and he's going to come in here, finding this 5th base shortly after it starts mining. Oh my goodness, IDrA does not have anything to stop this. This is more or less a dead hatchery. Some Speedlings pop out and get picked off as they run past. Siege Tank's already in position, so those are just wasted larvae and lings there. And this hatch is for sure going to go down. Rain just needs to focus a little bit more and finish it off. But more Marines headed around over to this gold base. They're not going to find anything, but if he continues moving, he may see this 4th base. Oh, IDrA almost revealing that he has a base there by having that huge number of lings and infestors just waiting. Rain actually pushing in now with tons and tons of Marines sitting at 2-1. They do have their combat shields. They do have stim pack. They're going to pick off a couple of spine crawlers and a queen very, very quickly before IDrA can return home. Wow, does the queen actually survive? No, the queen does not actually survive. Lots and lots of Speedlings show up to get these Marines out of his natural, but check this out. There is a siege tank line. Man, Rain actually could have done a little bit better on his siege tank spread. If he had fortified a little bit quicker, it'd be very, very hard for IDrA to come in here and try and keep that from being killed off. Looks like Medivacs, straying. A little bit of a misclick there, rallying them over on top of those infestors and lings. Thankfully for Rain, IDrA doesn't have that much anti-air here. Broodlords actually finished 5 Corruptors in production and another Broodlord. IDrA rebuilding a base up here in this sort of top left natural, excuse me. I'm a little bit right-left dyslexic from time to time. Octo drop from Rain is fully loaded up. There's another one not quite fully loaded up, bouncing around. Rain actually sending 3 medevacs full of units around the map at the same time. I'll try and keep track of all of them. It looks like IDrA may have been tipped off to that one just because of the good Overlord placement, so a Queen is going to get over there pretty quick. There's lots and lots of lings waiting for the Marines to be dropped down, so Rain is going to back off with that one. Another medevac over here getting caught by Corruptors and Fungal Growth. It's going to be totally picked off with everything still inside, and Rain is going to think twice before actually committing with this other one. So Rain did drop a few Marines. He's going to try and score that Overlord kill, but he's actually not microing them. If he did, there goes the Overlord. Wow, I was going to say, if that Overlord got away, that'd be a bit of a blunder from Mr. Rain. Medevac number 3 still intact. Medevac number 1 just chillin'. He may actually forget about this. I hope he doesn't, but we'll find out as the game goes on. Lots and lots of infestors ready to drop big fat fungals all over these siege tanks, but check that out. The range is so good on the siege tanks. I don't know how the infestors are going to be able to get in there unless all these speedlings get run in first. Broodlords, oh, that's a good way to do it. Broodlords dropping on the Marines, and the siege tanks blasting apart those Marines, luring the Marines into range of fungal growth. Corruptors and Broodlords all getting taken out. Infestors actually getting a few splashes on them as well, but big fungals actually narrowing the army count for both players there. Bit of an interesting exchange. IDrA actually pretty much broke. Kind of interesting there. This medevac's still hanging out. Rain is going to try and build a couple more bases. It looks like he's floating one command center from God knows where up into this top right expansion and building another one here at the top right third, I guess I'll call it. But IDrA just massed up in the middle, waiting. He's got lots of Broodlords, 3 Broodlords, lots and lots of Corruptors, 8 of them, ready to flip over at a moment's notice. Rain still has a 20 supply lead, very, very surprising. After that big engagement where IDrA lost all of his Mutalisks. Oh, check that out. The 7-man drop did actually arrive, and these things are going to be able to clear out all of it. No micro there from Rain. Doesn't actually manage to kill anything except a handful of Lings. Hatch will stay alive. Oh, and big engagement. So it looks like Rain was just trying to do a little bit of a distraction play there over at that base, but now Fungals are going to be dropping on this big pack of Marines. If we can get a big Fungal, there he goes. Wow, good presence of mind from IDrA. One more Fungal will take out all of those, but he doesn't even need to do it because Broodlings are attracting siege tank fire, and all those Marines are going to die. 3 Broodlords still standing. Not sure what they're going to be able to do, though, against this tank. More Broodlords showing in from behind, and Corruptors will take care of the Viking. 5 Broodlords still intact, 4 Infestors on the ground, still with plenty of energy for Fungals. SCV is on attacking move for some reason, getting taken out very quickly, and the Infestor actually just barely survives that siege tank blast. Still so many Broodlords in the sky, and Rain actually has way more Vikings this time than he did in the last game when Broodlords were giving him problems. It looks like this command center did land, but Zergling started chewing it to pieces. Now he lifts up. If IDrA just leaves one Ling underneath this command center, it'll prevent him from landing. Surprised he's not doing that. This 8-man drop still just chilling down on the low ground. He did actually forget about it, which is kind of frustrating because that's what 10 supply locked up right there. there that he can't build anything else. If he actually did forget about it, that's going to be very bad. Command Center turning into a planetary fortress should help him keep that guy alive. Might need some more tanks here. He's getting ship weapons level 2, as well as some tanks and marines and medevacs. He's got a good number of Vikings here to protect against those broodlords and corruptors. And IDrA actually broke still, 60 minerals at a time. He's spending that money so fast. His income is actually trouncing Rain's right now, though, in terms of minerals and gas. But here we go, another big engagement. Huge fungal on those Vikings. Oh my goodness, is he going to drop a second one? Yes, he does. And there's the third fungal. Will he kill all these Vikings with that last fungal? Yes, he does. Oh my goodness. So Rain just lost so much supply there, just to a few key fungal growths. Totally worth losing those infestors for IDrA, because now he has the air dominance completely. Only 2 Vikings remain. One of them was in very low health there. And wow, IDrA evening the field a little bit, actually giving himself a little bit of a supply advantage. Rain did manage to get this planetary fortress up and running. He can't land in the top right because those lings are just being so pesky, and IDra's mining has been uninterrupted for a while now, since that last drop that we saw at this base that was kind of failed. Lings cleaned it up very, very quickly. Rain loading up another Octo drop, still forgetting about his one in the south. Let's see what this is going to be able to accomplish. I can't imagine that's going to be very much, since IDrA is just ready to go. Rain actually going to go the long way around and perhaps check out this top left expansion. IDrA still just chilling in the middle. 8 infestors on the way. 8 infestors, fungals all over the place, would just end this game. And since Rain relied so much on siege tanks, broodlings and fungal are going to be massive for any big engagement that happens. Rain does finally manage to sneak in here with some marines. There are 3 spine crawlers, and they all stemmed up. They're actually not attacking anything. Some are heading down to the low ground to try and pick off some drones. The rest in the top are getting picked off by spine crawlers. Rain no longer microing. He's going to lose all of those marines just to some lings and spine crawlers. Man, pretty brutal stuff there. IDrA still just taking his time in the middle. 7 broodlords flapping their little bat-like wings. I'm not sure what they're going to be doing. Aren't these like the weirdest units in the game, man? Just look at this and take in how ridiculous this is. Just big floating fatties with their little tiny floating fatties following them around. So all these marines are going to be fungal fodder in a moment if those infestors show up. Here they are, actually underneath the broodlords and corruptors. Rain is going to try and take another gold base. I'm not sure how that's going to work out for him, but IDrA has been on top of his spending. He's pretty much broke. He's going to need to get some efficient trades here. He is killing tons and tons of marines. One more big fungal on that top side will kill all of them. But wow, Rain actually GGing out. Despite only being 30 supply down, he just wasn't comfortable with trying to hold on to this gold base, I imagine. But that game looked very, very strenuous. IDrA did such a great job defending. He never even really had to attack into Rain. All he had to do was prevent expansions and keep his own alive. So that's game 3 for you. Evil Genius's IDrA taking a 2-1 lead in this best of 5 series for the Intel Extreme Masters Guangzhou, China North American Qualifier, and Rain is actually in the US now, so that's why he's competing here and instead of the Korean Qualifier. Let's go into game 4 now, see what happens next.